Hello guys, welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Raphael Keshie Ule from Called Out Creatives, and today we'll be teaching you guys about keyframing. So in our last tutorial, while we were talking about transitions, I did say I was going to teach you guys how to make custom animations using keyframes. And so today we're going to be learning how to keyframe and keyframe properly. We're not just going to learn how to add the points and to create the animation. We're going to learn what I love to call the why of things. I'm going to be giving a detailed explanation of what keyframing is and what it does and how to do it. You know, on this channel, I don't just want to show you guys how to add the points or how to do this and do that. I want to explain what I love to call the why of things. Why is it so? If you're adding a point from A to B and adding another point from B to C, why are you adding another point from B to C? I want to explain what it does and how it works. When you have a better understanding of these things, you get a better chance with creativity. You get to be more creative than just knowing that this is what to do at this point. Well, you get my point. I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. So without further ado, let's dive right in and see what today holds. So our software is up and we go on and we'll launch our tutorial for our tutorial project. Where is it? Aha. Okay. So like I taught you guys in previous tutorials, you get to see that sometimes your most recent projects are not in your recent tabs. So I'll go to open, just a refresher for someone who's just coming anyway. I'll go to open and I saved that in Adobe, a new folder I created specifically for this tutorial under documents, Adobe, and the author project 1. You see, that's why I told you guys it pays to keep your things organized and your files organized. You get to know where you keep your stuff. Like, I wasn't searching all over to look for this for you guys. So you see, called project 1 v1 1_1. Well, it did that because I updated my Adobe, and you guys can see the last things we created. You know, we added transitions and how they worked. You guys can see. Let me go on and close this geometry scopes here. We haven't done that. We'll go back to Access Monitor. We'll be touching the geometry scopes in a few. So what is keyframing? Well, let's go to the internet and see what the internet says keyframing is, and I'm going to tell you guys what I say keyframing is. So whichever one you understand, you roll with it. And so let's say, what is keyframing? Well, so keyframing is foundational animation and editing technique used to define the starting and the ending points of any smooth transition. Well, that's fair. Keyframing basically is setting the start and end point of an animation. Raphael et al. Keshie et al. So keyframing basically is setting the start and end point of an animation. So you're telling the software, at this point, I want this animation to do this, and at this point, I want it to do this. In the last tutorial, I give you guys an example of how keyframing works, and I'll link it in the description below so that you can click and follow through. And well, it starts with transitions. So let's say, and let me use the same example I used from the last tutorial, and then we'll go on and create a few more custom animations and play around with the keyframes. So to keyframe, you've got to enable the stopwatch icon on your effects controls. If you don't know what effect control does, you can check my last tutorial, my first tutorial on the basics of Adobe Premiere Pro. All that is explained in detail in that tutorial, and I recommend you do, because you work better when you understand the basics of a software, the interface, what does what and how it works. To keyframe, easy. You say scale, you click the stopwatch here. You see it says toggle animation over there. Once you click the stopwatch, let's say you want to keyframe this at 5 seconds. Oh, that's 5 seconds. Let's move. Yeah, that's 5 seconds there. And let's say at 5 seconds, you want this image to become 110. Now, observe that at the beginning it's 100. Yeah, that's the size of your image, is 100. At 5 seconds, you want it to move to 110, right? So what you do is you come here and you click 110, right? Notice the image scaled in. But what happens is this. Now play this. You see the image is slowly coming in. it's slowly zooming in, and at 5 seconds it stops. So what you've done is you've told Adobe, you've told your software, whichever software you're using, is applicable in most non-linear editing softwares. So what you've told the software is, under scale, I want this image to start at 100 and end and zoom in to 110 at 5 seconds. So what it's going to do for you is it's going to start at 100 and slowly zoom in to 110. So you see that at 5 seconds, and to navigate your keyframes, you see it has this small icons here by the side. You can go front, you can go backwards. In this case, we have no keyframe forward, so the only thing you need to do is go backward. So you go back and you see at here it's 110, and at the beginning is 100. So it zooms in. That's the basic of keyframing. Nothing bogus, nothing much. You're saying at this point I want you to be this, at that point I want you to be this. So let's take it a bit further. You start with 100, you start with 100, you go to 110. Let's say at 10 seconds you want this to go back to 100. What you have to do is simple. Go to 10 seconds. Yeah, that's 10 exactly. 10 seconds, yeah, that's 10 seconds, and you say keep this at 100. Now notice when you change, once this keyframe animation button is toggled on here, once you change any value here, it creates an automatic keyframe for you. You don't just change values when you have your keyframe toggled on. So yeah, so you've done that. Let's play from, it goes from 100 scales in to 110, and now it's scaling out back to 100 to your second point. So that's the basics of keyframing. Nothing difficult, nothing much, and you can go on and play with it and see how much it gives you. What if you want your image to scale into, let's go on, and to delete your keyframe, you just click the diamond box in your, you just click the diamond box in your effect controls and you say delete, and it deletes that particular keyframe for you. So what if you want it to come in, to zoom in from 100 to 110, stay at 110 for 5 seconds and zoom out for the remaining 5 seconds. Let's say our clip is 20 seconds or so. So this is 110 here. You want it to stay at 110 up until, okay, let's use 10 seconds, up until 10 seconds, right? So what you're going to do is you click this button here. See, it says add/remove keyframe. That's another way to add or remove your keyframes. And so when you click this, you see it adds a keyframe. Now the value of the keyframe that will be added here when you click this is exact same value with your previous keyframe. Does that sound like Chinese? Let me explain. Oh, no disrespect to Mandarin anyway, I really love to learn that language. When you click this button, what you get is the exact value of the last keyframe. So we're here at 110, and here, because we click this button, let's remove that. When you click this button, look here, the value is 110. So the value of this keyframe, when you add a keyframe from here, will be exact same value as your last keyframe. And so let's say you wanted it to come in, zoom in to from 100 to 110, stay at 110 and zoom back to 100. You now say, okay, at 15 seconds. And it mustn't be 15 seconds. Your timing may be different, depends on the kind of project you're doing and what you want to achieve with your project, right? Your timing may be different. So let's say here you go back to 100. So this is what it will do for you. It comes in, it stays 110. Notice your image is no longer zooming. And now it's going back out. Because all you did here was, you see it has stopped zooming. All you did here was to say, what you said was, at this point I want you at 100. At this point I want you at 110. At this point I want you at 110 to maintain 110. And at this point I want you back out at 100. And so you can play around with these values, but everything you're doing, like I said, should add to your story. Right? You don't just add keyframes indiscriminately just to show off. You don't edit to show off. Well, sometimes to show off, but you edit to tell a story. So whatever it is you're doing, you make sure it's adding to your story. When you're adding keyframes here and there, make sure they are adding value to what you're doing. So let's go on and try this with something else. Let's say a text effect. Beautiful. So let's go on and delete all these keyframes. To highlight them, you can click and drag over all your keyframes and you delete. Yeah, notice you still have all. Another way to do it would be come here and toggle it out. Notice it says this action will delete existing keyframes. Do you want to continue? You say okay. Boom, they are gone. Yeah, so let's add this with a text effect. So let's come here to our text tool, come over to our text tool. The shortcut for the text tool, sorry, let's keep this here so it's visible. And that's the good thing about the Adobe interface. Yeah, so it's visible. So let's go back to our selection tool, and to select your text tool, the shortcut is T, and back to your selection tool is V. Your text tool is T. We have covered these tools in detail in our beginning tutorials. In our beginner tutorials, you can check that out right on the channel. The link will be in the description below. So with our text tool, you come here with our text tool. What are you doing to me? Okay, sorry, that didn't work because I had this video selected. So let's uncheck that. And with our text tool, you come here and let's say you type in I love editing. So let's edit that quickly. Let's I've been on my Lumetri color page, guys. So we're going to switch back to the editing page. No qualms, no worries. If your interface doesn't look like mine, you can just come here and we say editing. And boom, that's what you have. It looks, I think we should have the same view now because I haven't customized my editing page that much. Our tools are back here, so we'll drag them back up right here. Right, and let's do this. Yeah, good. So I think you've gotten a free tip there. So let's edit this to center align your text quickly. All you need to do is come right to click your text, and where's my align? Yeah, align and transformation, and let's center this. All right, scale, well, let's highlight all the text and increase the font size. Right, let's do this. And let's have what is it called now? What font do we use? What's my favorite font? Well, let's try Poppins bold. Yeah, to make it bold and visible for you guys. And we're going to be adding a shadow there, just subtle one. Tick black, and transparency, make it 100. Yeah, just so it's visible and you guys can see what's happening, you know. But I love the text. I love how it looks. Poppins is always a good font to use. Yeah, so it's centralized, well centralized now, and we're going to be animating this text. We're going to be keyframing this text. Now, keyframing it's not limited to your scale alone. You can add it to basically everything in Premiere Pro. You can add it to basically everything in Premiere Pro, to your effects. Anything you see a stopwatch under is basically keyframeable. If there's a term like that, it's basically keyframeable. So you can see over here, you can see multiple stopwatches on different parameters, different values, different parameters on the software. So this time we're going to do position. So what do you do when you want your text to animate in and animate out, and you don't want to use the pre-made effect built in with Premiere Pro? Well, here, let's go back to our selection to always do this so you don't create layers accidentally. And so we'll go back to our text, so our selection tool, sorry, and then you come here, you click position, Now you're telling the software this is the first position of my my text, and the first position of your text is not the middle. And to make sure it's always in the middle, what I will do rather is I'll come to, let's say, the middle of the text, and I will add a keyframe there. So you're telling Premiere Pro that at this point, this is where you want the text to be. So I'll go back to the beginning now, and let's delete this so that I show you guys something quickly. Delete that keyframe. And now if you click on motion, vector motion, and you drag this to the right, your first point tells the software this is what I want to happen here. So here we're saying at this keyframe, at the first point, I want my text to be off screen, completely off screen. And you can always drag your objects and other text. This is not applicable to just videos and text. Every single object you add into your timeline, you can keyframe. We've taken it off screen, and let's play it and see what it does. You can see it came in, and watch what happens over here, over this timeline here that is selected blue. Let's go back to the beginning of that, and we play. Now watch what happens at the second keyframe. It came in, and at that point it stopped. So that's how keyframing works. You're telling the software at this point I want it to do this, at that point I want it to do that. So you can even add some rotate to it. Let's go back to the beginning, and let's say rotation here. You click this keyframe, you go to the next, and you rotate this way, right? Okay, let's go on and add a bunch of keyframes. And as it's doing this at the same time, let's go back to the beginning, and we'll say scale and go to the end, and we'll drop this to 80. We'll drop this to 80. Let's make it obvious at 80, right? So let's go back to the beginning now. Not that beginning, this beginning, yeah. And so you play and see what's happening, right? And let's play with this further. Let's go on and have a little more fun with this. Let's push this backwards here. Now to adjust the okay. So let's go on and play with this further. It came in like this, and at this point here we can restore this. If you click reset, it resets it to 0 and adds another keyframe for you. That doesn't work on every software though. So you do this, see, and back to I love editing. So that's what keyframing is, and that's how keyframing works. You can use this to create custom transitions, you know, to bring one clip in and bring it out. Remember I said you can add it to virtually anything. You can add it to your clips. Let's delete this transition here. Let me show you guys how it works. Let's go here and we say position in, and it will always add a keyframe at the point where your playhead is. And so let's expand that a bit, and at this point here, and sorry about that, and let's say at the end of this point here, we want this to go this way, right? And let's click the next video, and at the beginning here we add a transition, a keyframe to position, and we go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 frames, and we say we add this. Let's do this way, and we'll bring this out. Right, now notice what happens. You see? So what happened here was, it says you told the software at this point push this video out and bring the next one in. And so it obeyed and pushed this one out and brought this one in. Let's say you want to increase the duration of your keyframes. It's very easy. All you need to do is come here, and let's expand this. I'm using the plus and minus button to expand that, so you can use this slider control here. Let's say you want to expand the duration of your keyframe. All you need to do is hold this keyframe and drag it, you know, based on how long you want it to delay. And let's play that. You see, it took longer this time, but let's make it very obvious. To this point, and You see, it takes longer when you stretch the keyframes. When you bring them closer to each other, they work much faster. You see, and this way. Oh, that's an error. Yeah, I clicked the wrong keyframe. No, that's not the keyframe I want. Expand that. Let's drag this guy. And this way, you see it's coming in much slower. So that's how keyframing works, guys. You can go on and play with it. Try different things to different effects. You can use crop. You can play with crop. You can make it crop in, crop out. You can make it zoom in, zoom out. You can basically use keyframing to add. You can keyframe opacity, which is the visibility of your clip. You can keyframe anything that has this stopwatch in your Adobe. So go on and play with it, guys, and see what it does for you. So guys, that's it for this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If there's anything you want to learn, guys, just leave it in the comment section below and I'll be sure to handle it in the next video. That's all for now, and see you in the next video. Peace.